Oh. Somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, oh, I'll show it to you, but it's just my Instagram profile picture. Like, no, that's Brennan's signature. I can't take that away from him. All right, but yeah, so today we have a very exciting match. We have the Grumpy Bears versus Revolution DeEvolution. Yeah, you like that post? But yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So overall as a team, I think that it's a very even match, given that they are both, you know, tied for last. But oh, Shinkari's muted on stream. No, he's not. Say something. I mean, yeah, your levels are good. All right. Anyway, yeah, no, your levels are good. Okay, good. I got scared for a second. Anyway, so, but yeah, no, as I was saying, there was something very interesting about the other team, and now that I know that they're spectating, I can't really say that much. But they have very specialized characters, you know? They're really comfortable with their own characters, and I think both teams know that. I usually don't like to spoil it that much. So I think that without further ado, we should start this game very, very soon. So I'm just gonna tell them to get ready. Pretty much. They either gotta do that, you know, they need to just practice this couple of weeks if they don't have like school or work or anything. You know, jump into a hyperbolic time chamber with like a League of Legends coach or something like that. Because, but we'll see. They might surprise us, and I'm surprised with this couple of first bans already out with the Katarina, out with the Swain. Not the bans that I expected. Good bans nonetheless. Katarina could be a strong Feast or Famine character, and in lower elo games, I mean, she can just make a tear. She can solo carry, and there goes the ban that I was expecting, the Syra ban. Okay, care to explain why this is such a pivotal ban, I guess you could say? Yeah, Terrapin and the Chunel. Interesting. Okay, so are they taking away the Diana from the opponent? From the Ooh. Got it. I was gonna say, personally, I would not pick Ash Misfortune against an assassin that can, one, disrupt your abilities, and B, can one-shot your backline. Don't get me wrong, Ash Misfortune is a really strong poke lane, but once you pick the Braum in the support side, it becomes a lot tougher to do your mission, at least if the Braum does a really good job. And Braum Sivir is a very strong combo. Now, Misfortune and Ash should have the range and the poke advantage, but the later the game goes, the more the Sivir is going to start hurting. Yeah.
No entiendo, pero no miramos bien porque solamente me decían, no, ahí seguro que no, entonces no miraba. Yo no miraba bien, pero...
I agree, and I also like this couple of bands. So, you know, we have the Silas bands, because anything worse than the 3 ultimates that we've just seen from the side of the Grumpyverse is a Silas with those ultimates. We also see the Rice band, because as we know, the mid laner, Kroots, from the side of Grumpyverse really likes spam Rice, so that's a very smart pick to ban. And, you know, we also have the Shen with the ban, and the Victor with the ban as well. Now, Viego. I don't really have much to say about this Viego. If the Viego player is a good player, just like Katarina, he would stomp. But Viego is one of those characters that you really should know how to pilot, otherwise you are going to fall behind really fast. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've been practicing jungle. One of the most painful experiences was just first timing, second timing, third timing Viego. This is because you're just gonna get all pinked by your team. Now, let's just get back into the picks. We have an Asir going up against a Yone, and we have a Malphite going up against a Mordekaiser. Now, the Yone Asir, I can see that Kroots likes to play Asir. I don't know how comfortable he is playing against a Yone. I know that personally I wouldn't pick Asir against Yone. But, I mean, you know, I better be surprised, you know? Yeah, exactly. I mean, and don't get me wrong, Asir can be really good. Really, really good in a lot of matchups. Now, against Yone, the one thing that I don't like about it, or the one thing that I'm afraid of, is mostly the fact that you are... You're not tanking. You are very much squishy, and you're easy. Well, we'll see. He might know something that we don't know. But what I do know is that at the end of the day, if somebody gets fed on the side of the Grumpy Bears, DeEvolution has a Mordekaiser. So he can just, Misfortune ults, he can just go into Brazil. Okay, as you tries to engage, you go to Brazil. Viego is about to get a kill. Brazil, He's got the passport ready. TSA fears this man. But yeah, and then you also have the Brom to stop it. But let's just jump over to the pro comps post draft. And yes, as we see, we have a little bit of, definitely the game plan for the side of DeEvolution is to split. In the other side, we have to engage or siege. You have a lot of team fighting with the Malphite, Misfortune, Ash Arrow. Viego just thrives on killing the opponent team. But on the side of DeEvolution, I see a very good 3-1, like 1-3-1 comp. You put Sivir Braum and then Diana in the mid lane, and then you just put Yone and the Mordekaiser in the two side lanes. You put pressure across the map, and it's just an overall solid team. Yeah, but here's the thing. Sure, Braum can stop the arrow and he can get stunned, but we can't forget that Sivir also has a spell shield. So she can be the one to take the Ash Arrow for the team. She can be the one to take, the part of the... I don't know what else you can take. That's probably like the main thing that I'm worried about. Sivir can just stop a lot of things. And at the end, Yeah. That is true.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. Hopefully, you can hear my voice now. Hey, how you doing? My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Comboster, and here we are on the rift of game number 1 of Evolution, DeEvolution versus SNC Grumpy Bears. Here we are, game number 1, ready to get underway. Both these folks are tied for last place and are now fighting for better seeding in the gauntlet here, as we only have a couple weeks left of the regular season. Comboster, are you excited? Are you ready?
I am excited to see what's gonna happen. Again, a little bit sorry for that technical difficulties that happen, but I personally love the mid lane. I can't wait to see how this matchup unfolds, because personally we can see that in the top lane we're gonna be seeing a little bit of, you know, the usual, you know, they're gonna handshake the lane because Malphite is just a little bit too tanky for Mordekaiser to kill, and Malphite's not gonna deal that much damage to Mordekaiser. And then in the bot lane, just like we stated before, level 6, Misfortune and Ash are going to bully the bot lane, and then after level 6, bot lane's just not really going to care that much. But now in the mid lane, the mid lane is where it's probably gonna matter the most. We have a Seer, a mage that if he gets ahead, he can definitely do damage to the side of DeEvolution. And then on the other hand, we have, you know, the Yone that, I mean, he's Yone. He can dominate a lane, and if he does, it's not gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, now this matchup in the mid lane is relatively even, so we should see that, like, it'll come down to how Kroots is going to play this lane here against Gabe Recall. But once again, I think I'm just throwing some question marks at this Azir, just because we didn't see a whole lot of Azir in Kroots' history. And also, Yone is a lot easier to pilot than Azir as well. So if we're assuming that both of these players don't really have a lot of history on either of these characters, you know, Gabe Recall is going to have the edge here. I
agree as well, and okay, and one thing that I do like to see from the Azir is that he is going first strike. Personally, if he went Hell Blades, I wouldn't agree with it, just because Yone has a lot more sustain. But first strike not only gives you a little bit of gold advantage, it also deals a little bit of that extra initial damage with the poke.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just getting that little bit of extra gold is kind of the big thing, right? Like, first strike also makes like a lot of your traits just a little bit better. But I think the big thing is like, hey, look at this kind of big extra gold that I'm getting as well. On top of it is, yeah, you know, take a look at this bottom lane right here. Is they're wasting no time with this Hail of Arrows, Hail of Blades build from Hilk TV here.
Oh, it is definitely a Hail of Arrows. It's definitely a Hail of Arrows. You're not wrong there.
Yeah.
But
she replaced her arrows with knives. She knocks a knife instead of an arrow.
Yeah, and a ward in the Tribush saves the day for the side of the poke lane. As you can see, Diana just stepped away from that. Now Viego is the one looking for another gank in the river. Finds the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, he's looking for the double crab.
Yeah. Okay, he misses the E.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of a rune up there over this crab, and yeah, it was just Downfall was already kind of panned up here already. So this was more of like a big macro play by the blue team here, because Downplay had already pathed downwards towards the crab, and was kind of trying to secure it because I think they might have seen Viego already come up from river, so they're like, oh, he already got that crab. Let's try to secure the other one so he doesn't double crab us, because we already see him moving in that direction, and Diana is in bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Mordekaiser just has a way better wave clear than Malphite, at least in the early game. So, you know, getting the lane prio there, getting the advantage, and also the fact that Malphite needs mana compared to the Mordekaiser. And as we see, Malphite doesn't really have that many abilities to trade against Mordekaiser after this point in the lane.
Yeah. I mean, I like to say that in these sorts of matchups, you apply the Tryndamere theory, where you know, you're up against a mage, they're using mana, you just wait, and then, you know, you watch them spam their spells because they're trying to farm, and then, you know, you just wait until they don't have any mana and you beat the crap out of them.
Exactly. And on the side of, you know, the mage or the one with mana, what you need to do is understand that your opponent does not need mana, and therefore they need to get back into the wave and in another way. And the best way to do it is just by trading heavily with them, or just by not using your resources on the wave.
Yeah.
Now, going back into the bot lane, something very interesting that you touched upon was the fact that Sivir, on top of having a spell shield, also went cleanse. Now,
Yeah.
personally, I would have liked to see the exhaust come from the Sivir. I mean, the heal come from Sivir and no, the other way around, my bad. Exhaust come from Sivir, heal go to the Braum. I just think that it would be a lot stronger for Sivir, especially when she has to fight against somebody like the Asir or like the Viego especially, just to reduce that overall damage. And then on top of that, I mean, she already has the speed. And then also Braum can go something that, you know, the heal is just way better. Not only for him, but for whatever side lane he's going to, if he decides to side lane in this game.
Yeah, not to mention, like, there's really not a lot to cleanse off on the enemy team here, right? Like, if anything, there's really only 2 forms of hard CC that can be cleansed off, right? Malphite ultimate is a knock-up. So is an Azir ultimate is a displacement, right? You really only cleanse off Ashe stun and Viego stun, right? And you've got a spell shield for one of those, and if they hit you with the other, right? Like you're probably not around Braum, right? Like Braum is probably nowhere nearby.
Exactly, and you said it best. You can't really cleanse an Asir ult. You can't really cleanse a Malphite ult. Ooh!
We'll try to see if they can try to cleanse off this death here. Natoa forced to flash over the wall. The Fate Shield came through. One ultimate spent trying to get the kill into the Viego, but not going to be able to grab them this time.
And after that, I just want to take a quick look at the gold graphs. Everything's relatively even at the moment. Nobody with a very significant lead. And I mean, this is what I personally expected. To be really fair, to be really honest with you, neither team has that much burst damage per se, or that much damage, at least in the early game. Sivir will do damage eventually, and Misfortune will do damage in the team fights. But other than that, no team really has a source of burst damage, other than the unit that we just saw tear through that Viego.
Yeah, and really, like, a lot of the gold that we see is just kind of evened out mostly. Like, we're seeing, like, a big, like an almost event horizon amount of gold CS difference between top laners here, but Bruce might be in some trouble here. Recall doing a decent chunk of damage, but has to go back to his soul here. But, you know, wherever there's, like, a lead... Oh, never mind. Yami no Gemu. Downfall's pulling them into the Shadow Realm here up on the top side, trying to get those star chips.
Flash, okay, interesting.
Yeah, not going to be able to find the kill this time. Looks like they just going to pull the old Flash Rooney over the turret. Classic move, classic maneuver.
Yes, sir. And then as we see right now, Yone retreating into the Dragon Pit where Diana has just started the objective. We got a Mountain Drake for the first one. This is gonna do wonders for the side of DeEvolution. But the Grumpyverse are not gonna let them... Oh, I guess they are gonna let them take the objective that easily.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting prio in the mid fairly well. And, you know, I think they're in a comfortable position, right? Like we said, level 6... is going to be an interesting time where the kind of the bot lane dynamic flips in the favor of Braum and Sivir, right? Like, Braum is probably going to be taking a little bit more damage from these kind of poke that Dynast King and Hilk are going to be throwing out. Only because he doesn't want to spam that shield as much, right? Because Dynast King and Hilk both have ultimates that are going to be stopped by the shield here. But this is the most interesting thing to me, that they're able to just go from mid buff to mid buff, or river buff to river buff here.
Yeah, and this is who got the eye. Okay, Diana got the eye. If I were the jungler in that situation, what I would have personally done is given the eye to Downfall, so that when you inject the gold, you were giving it to a side laner, and not only a side laner that is comfortably just sitting on this island, and for the lack of a better term, he's dominating the lane right now.
Yeah.
And that's not because of skill or anything. That's just how the matchup goes. That's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. It's just a real tough time. Oh my god. See Malphite first item bought a Quicksilver Sash?
I mean, honestly, go for it, dude. That is 1,300 gold, but it also helps you not die.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I think you already said it. It's 1,300. That's a lot of gold. I feel like if you wanted to live through an ultimate, you could very easily do that with like Bobby Cinder.
No!
Ooh, okay, wait a minute. Ash Ultimate coming down on the 60 here. In a bit of trouble, low HP. Doesn't really have a whole lot of follow-up there. I think they're just going to have to eat that ultimate and walk away. As Misfortune and Ash are making their way around here. Okay. Not really able to find the kill onto Diana there, but was real close.
I was gonna say, yeah, very scary situation to get stunned under the turret. Not where you want to be stunned. But now Cruz just gets a lot of free gold thanks to the first strike and a lot of free poke damage. And this is where Azir excels the most in my opinion. When the enemy team is disengaging is when Azir excels the most, because you know you can throw the soldiers down. Or if you're disengaging yourself, you don't even have to move the soldiers, they're just coming towards them. So the fact that we're seeing Cruz just position the soldiers in a very intelligent manner just shows me that he has learned a couple of things from his Azir games.
Yeah. So far, no. I mean, we're at about 12 minutes in. We're getting closer to the saying we're at mid-game point here. No towers have been taken. Not a whole lot of damage has been done to the plates either, and
yeah, no deaths either. I was gonna say, yeah, no first blood either. No Viego resets.
This is some Season 4 CLG stuff right here. This is some... this is, don't go for kills, let's just try to beat them at the macro game for forever. But, like, you know, who do you think benefits the most from having this kind of extended laning phase here?
Well, I'm going to say, just because they got the Herald, I would say that DeEvolution has it. Just because of the Herald. Otherwise, I would still say DeEvolution, just because most of their characters are the ones that come online. There's a reason why there is the meme of the 0 and 10 power spike for the Yone or the Yasuo. Right. It's because they don't really go online until they get their Infinity Edge, their Immortal Shield Bow. That's when they really start to become a threat. And if I were the side of the Grumpy Bears, I would have honestly sent the Viego and the Azir to the bot lane. Just force a fight. Just force something. Even if you just take the Braum, you're forcing a fight in order to get an advantage on an objective. Because if you fall behind you're falling behind. I mean, we're seeing zero deaths, you know, relatively even stuff, but we already have a 2k gold lead from the side of DeEvolution. And that's not because they're farming bad or anything, that's just because they've got more objective control.
Yeah. They're down 2 objectives. There's still some pretty significant CS differences, but that's going to be all for the Ash ult here. Fate still coming through, forcing the flash away from Hilk here. Hilk trying to separate out the Yone, has to eventually go back to the Soul. Going to be pulled back all the way. 14 minutes in, the tower armor is gone. The plate's gone. There still is no first blood yet.
Now, in that team fight, I would have actually liked the Braum to engage with the ultimate when they were in the tri-push, rather than in the end. Braum ultimate is more of a disengage ability, because you're banking on your opponents to, I'm gonna stop talking because there's a team fight going on.
Oh yeah, Downfall is teleported into the river here. We might actually get our first blood here as Natoa knocked into the air. Forced to the re-entry, Unstoppable Force comes through. Downfall is going to pull Viego into the Shadow Realm here. That's going to give them a little bit more time to work with. Bullet time gets interrupted here as Gabe Recall going to go down. First blood goes over to Malphite here as the red team pulls ahead. Downfall is now 1v5, doesn't have that Yami no Gemu anymore. And now Natoa is Mordekaiser going to give themselves the reset, a little bit of a heal as well. They get first blood, they get 2 kills, and now they're getting the Cloud Tree.
That's right. And this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about, the whole team fightings. Just Grumpy Bears have a really good team fight. And you want to take advantage of that before this side of DeEvolution starts to go online. Because Sivir doesn't have the damage. She doesn't have a mythic at all. In the meantime, you actually have Misfortune with a finished mythic item. The second mythic item of the game. The third mythic. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about that mythic item?
I mean...
You want to talk about it?
She's going Arcane Comet. She's going AP. Now, I would agree with this. if it
Yeah.
wasn't for the fact that you had an Asir and a Malphite, if you had, let's say, I don't know, let's say, what's a good top laner? Sion, or, yeah, Sion. It's actually
Okay.
a perfect example. I would say, yeah, go for it. Sion deals a lot of damage, even though he's a tank. He's like the tankiest assassin other than Ornn. But Sion is AD.
Or Tahm Kench.
Or Tahm Kench. Actually, Tahm Kench would have
Yeah,
been great too.
But yeah, I kind of get what you're saying here. That like there's already a decent chunk of AP damage on your team. What's up with the AP misfortune?
And another thing about AP Misfortune is that sure, you can one-shot the Diana, you can one-shot, oh god,
Oh yeah, Unstoppable Force is going to start this, but Fate Sealed might be able to close the deal as they're able to finish off the Rift Herald. They're able to find one. Are they able to get the reset though? Natoa is still taken incredibly low. That's going to be 2 for 2 so far. Kreutz is going to dash forward, looking for Gabe Recall here. Going to be pulled away, flashing towards the Yone here. Still not quite able to get it, but that's 3 kills over to the blue side as they, I don't think either team was able to get the eye. No, it was Azir who picked it up. Okay.
So I was gonna mention that nobody was gonna get the eye up until Mordekaiser actually pulled Azir towards the eye with his E. I wish I could just live replay that, but I can't cast, produce, and replay at the same time. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I
But
know.
yeah, no, that was a very close fight. But yeah, like I said, the team fighting, great. The Braum ultimate came in clutch because that's when you're supposed to use Braum ultimate. You're supposed to use it when the enemy team is on top of you, when it's the most difficult to dodge. You don't want to use it like a Morgana Q, that you want to hit it on the very tip, the very edge, where your opponents think that, oh, okay, the Q is gone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
TV wants to keep throwing out the ultimate on cooldown. Not going to be able to land it this time, but I'm sorry.
It'll be back up.
Keep going.
No,
Yeah,
I was gonna say it'll be back up. That's fine. But honestly, even though they lost the team fight technically, I still think this is a somewhat of a victory for this side of the Grumpyverse because the team just thrives on that team fighting. Like I said, it doesn't matter how much the enemy team's gonna scale. If the Viego manages to get a kill, he gets a little bit more scaling. He gets the items that he needs. And now we have an Ashe with the Imperial Mandate, and
Yep.
it works for the team composition.
Oh.
That's all I have to say. Yeah, it works for the team composition.
Oh no, it's very good. It's like her standard item as like a support character. Like if you see a support Ashe that doesn't have Imperial Mandate, like that's, I don't want to say it's wrong, but it definitely does not feel right. The only thing that's really like question mark for me about Ashe's build is that typically Ashes in the support role will go Tear of the Goddess in order to give themselves just a little bit extra AD here. As we've got 4 people diving Dynast King in the bot lane here, but this does not look like a well orchestrated dive here. As half of them are on the top side of that river, the top side of the tower there is the other half on the bottom, and now the red team is on the chase here with the teleport in for a map fight that I don't think was 100% necessary.
Yeah, I don't think that a lot of unnecessary stuff happened. Braum burned the flash and the ultimate on a flank position. Yone burned the ultimate. That's fine by me. Saver burned the ultimate as well. Sure. And then, like you said, Malphite burned the teleport. I mean, if we were looking at the chat, or if I was in the comms, I would have said, we're good, we're safe, you don't have to come. But, I mean, listen, if Malphite... Oh, nice ultimate. Oh,
yeah,
beautiful
catch out
flash.
Your bullet time in as well. You got the Unstoppable Force, but it doesn't seem to be the wombo combo they were hoping for here. They're still able to get a kill. Paulston goes down here, and they trade turrets 1 for 1, mid for top. And now the first Infernal Drake of the map is going to go over to the red squad here.
And now we have Infernal Soul. Now this Soul, I mean, Infernal Soul is good in everything. It's like ketchup, you know? It just goes good with everything. Most of the time. And for both compositions, they're both gonna do good with Infernal Drake. I'd say that the best composition for Infernal Drake between the two, I just want to say that it has to be Grumpyverse, just because not only they do good on it, they rely... No way that works.
Oh, Mike. Okay, well... You know, I don't fault Hill.
No, me neither.
Hill. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way they make a move that greedy there. But this might be the edge that they're looking for, because look at how hard Downfall has been pushing here. They're trading a top inner for an outer, for a bot outer on the bottom half of the map, and it doesn't seem like they're slowing down.
Not really, no. Now they have two people on the top side. Their 20-second stun is just respawn. And if they plan to go for Baron, no, they're not. Okay, they're just recuperating. They're going back to base. I guess Ayana can buy an item or a component for an item. But Krutz is not liking that.
Oh, he stopped the back.
Yeah, he's not liking that.
Oh my god. There are some times where people will take damage towards like the very, very tail end of the backing animation, and they'll still back.
Oh, that's
so maybe
that,
like
yeah.
maybe they fixed that. I don't know. Huh.
No, I don't think that's. I don't think so.
Because like Downfall was gone. Downfall was not at that point of the map anymore. The auto attack went through, and then Downfall was back. I'm fairly certain.
He was gone, but he left, but he wasn't truly gone.
Yeah, he like wasn't there. He was like, it was gone on my screen.
It's like when you're about to leave for a party and then the pizza comes and you're like, oh, I mean, might as well just go back, you know?
No. God, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yeah. Now we have Krutz pushing the lane. Now, here is where interesting ult. Nice.
Gabe Recall throwing out the ultimate here, but take a look at that cooldown. That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's going to be back up in a little bit.
Exactly. What's gonna take a while, it's actually Asir didn't even flash. He just sidestepped with the shoulders. Okay.
Yeah, which is why it's been weird to see Gabe Recall just kind of like throw out the ultimate at sometimes. Like it feels like sometimes, let's say like a good 50% of the time we've seen Gabe Recall ult. It's just it feels like it's just been thrown out. What do you think about that?
I feel like
do you agree?
I feel like Gabe is throwing his ultimates as if he was out of enemy vision. That's the way that I would put it best. Like, yes, the concept and the energy is there. Now you just have to do it in a brush or somewhere your opponents won't expect you.
Yeah.
Now, the enemy team is expecting the blue side that, you know, that they're doing Baron. Thanks to the Ashe bird.
I'm fairly certain it's called Hawkshot.
Hawkshot, there you go.
It's been a while. Hawkshot, yeah, there.
Hawkshot, there you go.
That's a that feels like a World of Warcraft ability. Maybe it's because I've been playing too much World of Warcraft recently. But also, every hunter ability also has the word shot at the end of it in some way, shape, or form.
Or an animal. Or a bird, you know? It's like... Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, just bird and then shot or something similar to that.
Yeah. It's just like... And the new Dragonflade hunter ability, Hawkshot. You knock a bird onto your bow and arrow, and you shoot him, you shoot the bird.
It's
just like you pull back, you're like holding on to like the talons, and then you let go. This bird is like wings taut onto its body and just propelling itself forward like an arrow.
Okay, this team fight, I see that it's on this side of the Gummy Bears just because they have the vision advantage. They had the vision advantage, I dare say. I think that Malphite has to start the team fight. I don't know why he's so far back, personally. He should be the initiator. He's the tank. He has the big ultimate. He has the go button.
He's grabbing a wave. I mean, I guess that's fine if like you're not planning to fight like right now, but you might be just a little too late to like start a slow push into the enemy's lower, as your team is already trying to fight a 4v5 right now. And this is not an exactly advantageous fight for the blue team here. Like, they might be up in gold, but they're not exactly a 5v5 team.
Oh, he's fishing for it. He's getting close.
Yeah, he's really looking for it. This team fight is on the edge of a knife. Like, both these teams not exactly wanting to commit just yet. They both have really good reactive tools that they really don't want to spend immediately. They don't want to pull the trigger because they know of the reaction from the enemy team, but something has got to happen, especially from the blue side. They can't quite keep taking all the smoke damage, but that's going to be the initiation. Fate Seal comes across and then immediately goes back to the soul here. Unstoppable Force comes across. Victory Slash is taken incredibly low. Natoa's looking at that, but Moonfall's going to grab them. He becomes invulnerable as he goes through and gets the reset, but not going to come through this time. 1, 2, 3 members of the red team fall. There's going to be the Shurima Shovel picking up another kill for themselves as well, as Polston is looking for the Sand Emperor, flashes over the wall, gets away. He's going to be able to live, goes golden now, and now let's see if he can get away. Let's see, kill on the Sivir. Absolutely going to be able to grab that, but at the end of the day, it's 3 for 4. Ash is the only member left to tell the tale, and the blue team is making their way over to the Infernal Drake.
Not only that, and I mean, I gotta say, you were talking about how they were prolonging the fight. The red team, the Gummy Bears, actually were winning because of that, because their team composition thrives on extended team fights, because they have the poke, they have the damage. Even though Gave, sure, he got 2 people in his ultimate, he didn't kill anybody, but that trigger was what DeEvolution needed in order to pretty much kind of win that team fight. I mean, they got the dragon, they're even on dragons now, they're even on objectives, and they still have the gold lead. And now look at the items. Braum with the relic, with the Locket of the Island Solari. Now we have Sivir with the Kraken Slayer and the Phantom Dancer. Now it's going to be a lot harder to take down all of these people.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot tough. I mean, Phantom Dancer is such a good item on Sivir as well, right? Like, being able to get that additional movement speed from your passive and from your ultimate as well, like, you're going to be very speedy, hard to lock down from this enemy team, which, reminder, does not have a lot of hard CC, right? They have some decent initiation tools to start the fight, but once that's done, once those are spent, and a lot of them are ultimates, it's just kind of like, well, we hope we kill you now, and if we don't, well, I hope we can stay within range and maybe not die.
Yeah, exactly. And like, remember, the only reason why Sivir really died at the end of the team fight, it was just because Asir was just in the perfect position. He played it pretty much as well as he could at that moment. That's the only reason why the Sivir died. Otherwise, she would have been scot-free. Now add a PD to that, and things are not going to look too good.
Yeah, it's just a really weird stage right now. We're taking a look at where we're at, 28 and a half minutes into this game. 2.8 thousand gold lead for the blue team here, so nothing too scary just yet in terms of gold lead. But you know, if we take a look at how these team fights have been going, and we take a look how these turrets are being taken by like Downfall in this bottom lane, I don't know if this game will be this even for this long.
Now here's where things will come into play, and I think the itemization would determine who is going to have a better shot at winning. Right now, we have 1, 2, 3 tanks for the side of DeEvolution. I think Asir should build a Void Staff into a Shadow Flame, because then he's gonna be the one to truly deal damage on the side of the team. Misfortune, sure, she has an ultimate, and Ash has all the abilities, but the one that's truly gonna deal damage in these team fights from now on, it has to be the Asir. And speaking of damage, DeEvolution tearing through this Baron right now.
Yeah, they do have a good top to take it. And speaking of taking, okay, that's going to be the Fate Seal diving into the enemy team. That's so much damage already. Augusto is trying to get into the back line here, doing a decent chunk of damage, but not able to secure any kills just yet. There's the ultimate for Misfortune coming across, but they're only able to find 1 in this team fight here. So they're going to be able to go down 1 for 4 here.
But look who died. It was a jungler. There might be a chance.
I mean, it's so slim, right? Dynasty King has to come through with like a godlike play and also not die to this Yone, right? Like, this is it he does not.
Wait, he dies. The Yone died to the Baron.
Okay. He makes it rain. Okay, not gonna be able to find it this time. All right.
Oh my!
I really didn't think. I was just if Dynasty King had got that there, I would have
I would have done
don't
a
know what I would
backflip.
have done.
I would have done a backflip.
I would have done a backflip. I would have. I don't know. I guess I'd eat my own shoe. I don't know. It's just, man, damn.
But yeah, no, amazing. I mean, you did the best that you could. You got a kill out of it. Now only 3 people have the Baron. Unfortunately, that one of those 3 people is the split pushing Mordekaiser, the last person that you want to see with a Baron ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more to say. But back to what I was saying, I think Asir, I mean, he's listening to me. He built the first core item for the Void Staff. And if this item goes through, if this goes to late game where the gold doesn't really matter and both teams are even, it's just going to be a matter of who pops which team first. Is it going to be the Sivir or is it going to be the Asir?
Yeah. It's really going to be interesting because this we're seeing now, like, if there already wasn't a thought in your head that this was going to be an AP misfortune, I mean, here it is right here, right? There's the Seraph's Embrace now, or yeah, that's the
Oh, yeah, are they gonna get caught out?
Seraph's Embrace. Ooh, maybe Mordekaiser does have ultimate here. Okay, gonna pull Misfortune into the Shadow Realm here. Yami no Gemu, that's already so much damage. They're looking for those locator cards, and give me your Obelisk to Tormentor while we're at it. Huge Moonfall gonna come across, but they're not gonna be able to get the second half of the damage. Downfall now going through the entire enemy team. That's so much AP they've gotten off of the Misfortune. The blue team is tearing through the Grumpy Bears right now as Kroots is now trying to run for their life. Flashes to try to gain some distance, and it looks like it's going to work this time. Infernal Drake is now on the menu for the blue team here for Evolution, DeEvolution.
Amazing job. I'd say Downfall did a great at initiating the fight with taking out Misfortune. Probably one of the most intimidating team fighting ultimates that the Grumpy Bears had in their disposal. Sure, they have a Malphite ult, but what's a Malphite ult with no follow-up? And speaking of follow-up, the follow-up with the Diana with the Moonfall, just getting 4 people, chunking them out, and then just giving the chance for the rest of the team to come through and clean up.
Yeah, it was that Moonfall was huge and was going to be even bigger had it not been for Kroots. So really good job on Kroots there with that heads up kind of Emperor's Divide there to give his team some space to not be in the second half of that Moonfall damage.
Correct. But like I said, I mean, just the fact that you group the entire enemy team into a single spot is just so huge in a team fighting status, especially when you have the Sivir Q, the Ricochet, or, you know, any ability from Yone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the big thing for me here is that it's crazy how and now they're winning because they're so far ahead, right? But like when we were talking about what kind of strengths each team had, we were talking about how, you know, the blue team might look to split push, and, you know, Yone is very good in side lanes. Mordekaiser has been doing a good job in side lanes. But like we're like in terms of a 5v5 fight, you know, the Grumpy Bears are going to be the ones who have kind of the better 5v5 team fight here. And, you know, if you were to look at this comp on paper, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, Misfortune, Ashe, Malphite, this is a very good 5v5 team. Here is, okay, Gabe Recall is out of there. But, yeah, but even when they were more even, you know, we haven't really seen some solid team fights out of the Grumpy Bears here.
And the problem is, it's not because our champions inherently are bad at team fighting. It's just that the champions from the side of DeEvolution, and I just realized something, give me one sec. The side of DeEvolution, it's just overall, they're online, you know? Now the Sivir has the items, and now she's the one that hurts. Now Diana is a tank, but also hurts. And, you know, Yone hit his 0-10 power spike without going 0-10.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a 10, but it's in the assist column. So,
oh, you're right, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, you could go 0-0 and 10. Is that a meme? Is this anything? 0-0 and 10 power spike? I don't know.
Doesn't have a nice
comedy.
tone.
You just have to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And you know what? I don't think the 0-0 and 10 power spike is anything. So, you know, we're just gonna move on.
I'll tell you this. The side of Grumpiverse is just throwing a lot of things right now just to get rid of the split pushing power that the side of DeEvolution has, and it's pretty much working at the moment. Baron is down, and Baron should be almost up relatively soon. In about 30 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah, and this is probably going to smell another team fight as well. This is the next big objective on the map. And, you know, at 36 minutes in the game, this is going to be a very, very powerful Baron here. So this is going to be just another tool that both these teams can use in order to try to close out the game here.
Oh, but look at this. They're trying to death bush right now. They don't know it, but they're not really going for anything. And as you can see, DeEvolution is really looking forward to getting... I mean, they tried to go for the bush strat. Didn't work.
Yeah, I think it's cute. I think we should just go for the Baron, honestly. Like, it's like they took a little too long there. It's just, man, it's like they can scout you out. There's no point in like wasting time with the death brush. You should just go and like get Baron.
Yeah, and I mean, if I actually like this decision that the Grumpiverse are taking. They're like, okay, you're gonna take Baron. We're gonna take Dragon. It's gonna spawn in 30 seconds. Unless Downfall just wildly teleports into the top lane or the bot lane to shove, this is a great position for the Grumpy Bears. They have the ward advantage. They're just already there. So let's see what unfolds here. They have the poke as well, so they're really good at warding off the opponent. They just can't get intimidated by the advances of the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean I think the blue team just more so needs to make a decision. Right, they're hanging around the river here, but they should be like, hey, we have a split pusher in the top lane. We're here. Oh, okay, well, they're going to go in. Fate Sealed and Emperor's Divide not being as successful
they got the
as they like.
silver.
Diego is going to be able to find one shutdown here. The ultimate coming across from Misfortune, going to deal a decent chunk of damage. It's going to mostly be blocked up here as Downfall comes in from the side. Adorasto is taken pretty low here as he's pulled back in. There's the big circle right there. So they're now looking for a little bit more. Kroots goes over the wall. Downfall flashes over. Kroots is inside the Shadow Realm right here, so he leaves. Downfall still ends up picking up the kill here, but not going to be able to pick up those star chips this time. So they're going to back away. They have the Infernal Soul as well. And take a look at that teleport. Gabe Recall wasting no time going up into the top lane and making sure to continue this push into the red team's base now that these death timers are a lot longer.
And as soon as that happens, we just watch. I mean, they have Infernal, so they're just gonna get one shot. Yeah, Ash is no more.
You mean like that?
Yeah,
you mean like that?
It's like, as a color caster, you can't really just say much more than, yeah, I mean, it's GG.
Yeah, it's a real tough. Are they going for the other inhibitor? Y'all just end the game. Y'all just end the game. All right, well, they're not going to end the game. They're just going to back away. I guess HP bars are pretty low here. You know, they only have, you know, 2 waves and only 1 Nexus turret, and they're up 2 people. But, you know, let's go into the jungle.
Yeah. Also, heads up.
That's the most blamey I've ever been. I'm very sorry.
No. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't blame DeEvolution to do this because they are winning. They can delay it if they want it. At the end of the day, they are delay game composition. So if you just want to play it 1000% safe, you want to win with all, you know, with all the cards in your hand and everything, I mean, be my guest.
Yep. I mean, they have the double super waves pushing into the base right now, and Azir having to deal with the supers in the top. There's no one dealing with kind of the supers amassing in the bottom lane, though. You have a wave of 2 and then then another one very quickly behind it. Remind that these minions now move faster because of the super minions, and also now there's 2 spawning per wave because all the inhibitors are down. So there's only 1 Nexus turret left. There's only 1 turret left for the red team to keep themselves in the game here. Luckily, red team has some good has some good wave clear, has some good stage, but this is really the only thing keeping them alive this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say Misfortunal is down. Team fighting seems a lot better for this side of the evolution right now. Downfall is a little bit low though. If you can just take somebody away. Oh, what an engage.
Yeah, it's going to be a good... Okay, great follow-up as well, but will they be able to get anything? Absolutely not. Sivir with a really quick triple kill and picks up the Quadra as well to cut a nice cherry on top of this game. Game number 1 goes over to SNC Grumpy Bears here.
What a game. And honestly, even though we were saying, you know, we all had our comments about the teams, but they both played very solid at the end of the day. They did really good. They played, I mean, at least for the side of DeEvolution, they knew their roles perfectly. They knew that they had to lane swap. They knew that they had to pretty much just have the Mordekaiser go top lane domination there. They waited for the perfect time for the Sivir and the Braum to go online finally. And then after that, they just kept snowballing, and then they just got the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anything for me, I was just mostly, I don't want to say annoyed, but like it seemed like Ashe was throwing out a whole lot of ultimates, but not a whole lot of them were landing. And so there were a lot of times in kind of like that mid game where Ashe is at her most powerful, where like, hey, here's a random arrow and now you're dead. Never really happened. I feel like a lot of times Hilk was just kind of saving that ultimate for like a team fight or, you know, or shooting it into the bot lane.
Yeah. And, well, I think that rather than just talking about what happened in this game, we're just going to throw it to a quick short break just to get everything ready, get to the next match set up, and see if the Grumpyverse is going to be able to take it to Game 3, or if DeEvolution is going to take the 2-0 in this match. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Comboster here today, and we are in game number 2 of SNC Grumpy Bears versus ReEvolution DeEvolution. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, these two teams are our bottom two. They're tied for 7th place currently. Now, right now, they are competing for better placement within the gauntlet. There's not a whole lot that they can do in order to get themselves out of the gauntlet, so that's basically where they are right now. We only have a couple weeks left of the regular season before the gauntlet starts, and then we're moving on to the playoffs after that. So here we are, game number 2 here. SNC Grumpy Bears does not have a particularly good first game here, even though they drafted the 5v5 team fighting comp. ReEvolution DeEvolution in a lot of lanes were able to out-farm them. So when they started team fighting, they just had a lot more advantages than SNC Grumpy Bear did. So here we are, game number 2 here. We have seen SNC Grumpy Bears take games off of teams that are better than them before, but we also seen that from ReEvolution DeEvolution. So this is now the match point for ReEvolution DeEvolution here. Let's see if they're able to close this one out or whether we're going to a game number 3.
And right off the bat, we just see the Mordekaiser get banned. Nobody wants to see that. Also, very interesting from the side of DeEvolution, now that they're on the red side, they don't want to see the Diana on the hands of Natoa, my bad, Natoa. Because, listen, if they can't first pick it, then the other team, the Grumpy Bears, can't pick it.
And it looks like they're just going to go for the Vigar ban again, and they're going to throw one more ban into the Katarina. So this does allow the Grumpy Bears here to lock in the Rise if they want to do it, but it looks like they're going to lock in the Trundle here.
And Trundle is just... it's a Swiss knife, you know? He's harder to counterpick. He's just a solid first pick. He's just an overall stat stick. And it goes well with everything, yeah.
Okay. So I was going to argue the exact opposite, that I hate Trundle as the first pick.
Really? I mean, I can see why. Yeah. I can see why.
So I dislike Trundle as a first pick for the reason of I see Trundle as a counter pick. I see Trundle as a counter pick to either a team that doesn't have like mobility skills, so like a dash, a jump, a blink, right? Or as a counter to a team that has a very strong, like beefy frontliner he can steal stats from, right? Like, and so as a first pick, you're not really able to get like the most out of your Trundle pick because you don't know what the enemy is going to be picking, right? And right off the bat here, ReEvolution DeEvolution here already has a couple picks that are pretty good against the Trundle, right? Lilia does a good job of dancing in and out of that melee range, so Trundle has to do a lot in order to keep up. And Lucian has a dash, so if he just gets put behind the Trundle pillar, Lucian just dashes to the other side.
Oh no, but one mistake that I see that DeEvolution did is left the Syra open.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want the Grumpy Bears to make the same mistake that they did last game, which was put their main DPSs as AP. You know, they have the Malphite, they have the Misfortune, the Seer, and even the Ashe to a certain extent as all AP. Yes. Now they have a Rise and a Syra. I would really not like to see an 80 mid laner.
Yeah, for sure. But Renata Glask is going to be the lock-in here for ReEvolution DeEvolution. It looks like we might have a bit of a... okay, that's Nami. All right. So the Nami pick, the ReEvolution DeEvolution, Renata Glask is not Renata Glask. That is Nami, which I was about to say I would have liked to see the Nami instead of the Renata Glask here, but that's going to be the Nami lock-in here.
Okay,
so,
got it.
ReEvolution DeEvolution here. Going to lock in the Nami, going to ban away the Shen, so SNC Grumpy Bears can't play that Shen in the top lane.
That's right. And, I mean, that also means that potentially the side of the Grumpy Bears can pick Renata. I don't know why you would pick Renata, but it's also open. Renata's just an overall great support if your opponent team decides to go all aggro. And, I mean, Lucian, Lilia, Nami seems pretty aggro to me. So we'll see.
Yeah, Lucian, Nami. I mean, once you prove that you have a better early game than the opponent, like if game 1 you suss out that you have a much better early game than your lane opponent, in your bot lane, I feel like every single team I've seen that does that goes Lucian Nami in game 2 like almost every single time.
Yeah, because if you're confident in game 1, they might as well just, you know, take out the strongest early game or the strongest aggro bot lane. And I do not enjoy playing against the Lucian Nami. One of them has to go.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me here is that the Lucian Nami lane is usually really badly countered by like a big strong front line playing boring and just waiting for Lucian to go in and interrupting his dive, or by specifically a Braum that just puts up his shield to block the Lucian damage, right? But what's good about Re-Evolution DeEvolution here is that they kind of had free pickings to kind of go and lock in this comp, because SNC Grumpy Bear saw their two kind of mains available and they just said, yo, let's go lock it in. And while Comfort is king, Lucian and Nami is such an easy lane to pilot that, like, it doesn't really matter if you're not, like, super comfortable on Lucian, right? You'll probably pick maybe bad engagements if you're not 100% on Lucian, but for the most part, like, it's a very easy lane to execute, and also, like, it does so much damage early on that if you're not ready for it, you're in a lot of trouble.
Ooh, okay, interesting lane. So we have Caitlyn, Syra in the bot lane. We have Sejuani in the top lane, potentially against the Lilia, potentially against another top laner. I think Lilia's just a counter to the Trundle, like you were saying. But who knows? The thing about picking Sejuani potentially blind, it's just that there's a lot of good counter picks against Sejuani. Which ones are those counter picks? Don't ask me. But
yeah.
Fiora can be one of them, dealing a lot of, you know, if the marks are good, if the RNG of this Fiora is good, then that's a lot of percent health taken off this Sejuani. And also the parry, you know, you can parry the ultimate, you can parry the dash, you can parry a lot of things. So it's up to the discretion of the Sejuani when to engage, when not to engage.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, this is... Yeah, so, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't see any targets for the Trundle to ult right now, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough, right? Now that we have this whole thing put together, right? There's really no frontline for Re-Evolution, DeEvolution here. They're mostly just a lot of bruisers, if anything, right? Fiora will build some HP, right? Lilia will build some HP. But there's no Tom Kench, there's no Galio, there's no Braum, there's no Alistar, so on, so Odir, right? There's no big, beefy frontline for Trundle to steal stats from. And on top of that, there's also a couple high mobility champions like the Fiora, like the Lucian, that can just dash around the Trundle pillar here. So Trundle in these early lanes might just have to look to gank mid lane if he wants to get off a successful gank, right? Like, maybe if he plans it well against the Fiora and forces the flash and then comes back a second time, he might be able to do it. But, like, it's just really, really tough to see a good lane for Trundle to gank here. And also, I wanted to note this. We still don't know who the jungler is, right? Sejuani and Trundle have been going back and forth about who's... Well, we know now. Never mind. I was going to say. Well, we're already in the champ select, so it's pretty much locked in that we have the Sejuani in the jungle. So yeah, I mean, once again, Trundle is not really going to have a good lane to gank here, and once we get later into the game, doesn't really have a good target to steal stats from.
And I was gonna say, I wouldn't actually like to see the Sejuani go jungle anyway, because your passive with stuns only works on melee champions. You only have one melee champion, which will be the Trundle. Everybody else will not help you get that stun off. Caitlyn, Syra are not really going to have that much lane pressure against a Lucian Nami. And Ryze is just going to do Ryze things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ryze, I am happy that we are going to be able to see Krutz's Ryze here. Because Ryze was banned away in Game 1, and he has 201 games on the champion this season.
Now, here's the thing that I would have actually liked to see. And I don't know if this is allowed in top laner, go something safe in the mid lane, like a Yone, or even like a Tristana or something like that. Just something in the mid lane that's really nice. And then just put the Rice top lane, because Rice top lane, you can play it safe, you can just buy a tier, and, you know, just handshake a lane. Now, with the Trundle in the top lane, handshaking a lane as a melee character is a lot tougher, especially against Fiora.
Yeah. It's just really, it is a little bit of a better matchup, but honestly, like, Sejuani is so tanky early, and, like, it should be able to deal with a lot of Fiora's damage, and also the flail should give them just a little bit of space. But yeah, Fiora is just a real tough duelist that I don't even think that if they went Rise, it would have a much better matchup outside of just being able to do a ranged versus melee matchup. But here we are. We're taking a look at the Pro Comps guide here, and you know, we see this kind of interesting kind of graph here in the bottom left, the game styles and scaling here. As you take a look, the blue team has a much stronger early game, dips in the mid, and then gets back up into the late game, whereas the red team here definitely goes straight from the early game all the way much better late game, which is pretty interesting if you ask me. I would have thrown this the other way around, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think Sejuani and Caitlyn and Ryze are much better late game than Fiora and Lucian and Nami for certain, right?
But I mean, we'll see. Pro comps at the end of the day is a service that helps you build your team comps around, and they might know a lot more than us, you know, as two casters know. So who knows? We'll probably see something similar like that. What I do find that interesting is that they're pitting Split versus Siege and Split, which honestly I have to somewhat agree, just because Fiora likes to be in her own, you know, island.
Right.
She's the type of champion that will build the Hullbreaker. She just wants to stay in her own, you know, little island. Whoever comes up top is going to be no match for her. Lilia wants to just go into those wild team fights, engage with everybody. And then Lucian Nami, they're going to stick together like glue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do agree with the Siege idea here. Usually comps with strong Siege usually have much longer range abilities and have a lot of like ranged characters, and that's kind of what they have right here, right? And they also have the Trundle Pillar to kind of give them kind of a line of scrimmage almost to keep them a little bit farther away, right? Zyra and Caitlyn are going to do a good job of like hitting turrets from far away and placing down traps and plants to kind of make coming to them in these kind of siege situations.
Now, yeah,
we're going to take just a quick break. We're gonna throw it to a quick break because we have to wait for the spectator delay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. Excuse me. Had a real bad brain hiccup there. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Comboster here as we are in Rift as we get a bit of a spectator bug here. Yeah, but there was a bit of a pause. Usually if you the new client will like not go through a whole pause if like the pause already happened.
But there will be a pause after the pause, yeah.
Yeah, the pause after, it will take a pause tax. It'll have to go through a pause tax in order to do that. But here we are on the Rift. 5-point start in order to get this game underway. This is game number 2 of the Grumpy Bears up against Revolution DeEvolution. This is match point for Re-Evolution, DeEvolution, and both these folks are tied for last place here and fighting for better seating in the gauntlet.
Now, tell me about these starting items for the Rise. It looks very cookie cutter, but I actually would have liked the Rise to go a tier in this matchup. A tier or a Doran String, not just, you know, the raw mana crystal.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. The tier start, I'll just say it. The tier start is just so wildly better that I can't like comprehend that you would do anything else, right? The refillable pot is good and is at its best after your first or second back. That's when it gets its full mana value. So by getting it early, right, you do get yourself like a little bit of like more gold value than your opponent who is like constantly going back and buying potions. But at the same time, like, here is just so much better on Rise that like it's just the gold value you would have gotten through the refillable pot is like not even remotely close to the gold value you would have gotten through a tier.
Correct. And I mean, you know, you can also just buy a raw tier and then do a 2-3 wave push. So, you know, you build up your wave, then you push it, and then you just get the refillable potion, and then you have best of both worlds.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so odd. It's a very, very weird start. And speaking of weird starts, we have the Syra Caitlyn getting level 2 before Nami Lucian. And now they're not having a good time.
I mean, that's what I would love to see as a Syra Caitlyn. You just want to get the level advantage. Syra can finally use her plants better. And I mean, Caitlyn just loves to poke from a range. So I'm not surprised that they got level 1 first, especially the way they would have tackled the early minions, but we'll see. Also, fun thing, Cyrus started her stun and her damaging ability, not the seed one, not the W. I think it is.
Yeah, I think that might actually be pretty good, right? You want to be able to outrange the Nami and the Lucian. Like, you don't want to be going into fights with them. So by just giving yourself the W and the Q means that you can do a little bit more burst damage if you're able to land a snare, as opposed to like putting down a plant and then snaring. As that's already a good bubble here. Dynast King has already taken insanely low. Your first blood comes through, and exhaust as well comes through the exhaust. They're going to be able to pick up a good kill and be able to shove a gigantic wave, maybe into the turret.
I mean, what a snipe from the Nami. Like, that stun is just deadly, and that's what you have to watch out for as the Caitlyn and as the Syra player in this matchup specifically. That's why Nami Lucian is just such a scary matchup to play against, because if Lucian just has a standing target, you know, a sitting duck, then he just has, you know, he can just blow all his abilities, rotate through them, and then get the kill.
Yeah, for sure. Is now, you know, this is going to be, you know, another time where we're going to have to take... Oh, wait a minute. Okay. This is another game where before, we said we wanted to take a look at how the early game played out because it's going to influence the mid game. But like, this is another same diff, right? This is another game where it's the same thing, right? We have to take a look at this early game, because if we don't see this lane dominance from Nami and Lucian, right? This is going to be a moment where this is just going to scale out of control, because, you know, Ryze and Caitlyn are just going to be so much better later than Lucian and Nami.
That's correct. And speaking of lane dominance, we see Downfall just again, just chunking this Sejuani like she's a caster mage, forcing the flash out. I would have flashed away too. No, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe playing a little too scared there, but yeah, I definitely agree with it. Giving yourself just a little bit more space so they're not tempted to flash and hit you under turret. But yeah, it's just once again, Downfall is playing a lane bully and doing very well at it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern with Downfall. And also, I don't think we talked about this on screen, but while in the loading screen, I just wanted to commend Gabe for his variety of champions. I mean, let's remember that he started off with a Yone pick in the game 1, and now he's playing Orianna. Very two different playstyles, but he seems to be doing pretty well. A little bit under in CS, but I mean, that's still fine. He's still playing the champion well.
I mean, I would disagree with that so far, just because, like, you know, 44 to 53 at this stage of the game is like a wave and a half of minions. And so, like, missing that many minions is pretty substantial in this early half of the game. Not to mention that you need to be like the one bullying Rise, because, you know, he needs, if anything, he needs to be forced out of the lane so that he can't just stack his tier for free, right? But as an Orianna, you can't exactly do that. And like, even though you outrange with ball, I don't know. I just feel like there should just be a little bit more attention from 60 here, or even just a little bit more harass from Gabe Recall.
I would agree with you on that, actually. Yes, I would like to see 60 just gank a lot more often. Just have crits not have a fun time in the lane, because Rice has a game plan, and his game plan doesn't have to interact with you. So the more you interact with him, then the better you're gonna do.
Yeah. It's just, you know, it is just really tough to do that when you're not, like, super comfortable on the champion, right? Like you said, this is a completely different playstyle from the Yone here. And while we kind of commented on in between that, like, you know, this isn't exactly different from the other playstyle of champions that they normally play, which is like mages, Vigar, Syndra, Swain, right? This is still just like, it might just be a familiarity issue, because it doesn't seem like through their match history that they have a lot of practice on the Orianna.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. Probably the Orianna was just a pick that was just better for the team composition overall. And I mean, at the end of the day, even if you don't do great, if you can land a nice Orianna ultimate, then that can mean the difference between, you know, a win or a game 3. Oh, we see 60 preparing.
Yeah, this is... Let's see if they're able to get a good shockwave here, but it's going to make them miss the bowling ball here. Slam comes through on the staff, and it's going to be able to, the last auto attack, going to be the one picking up the kill there. Now Downfall's in some trouble. Good job on the parry on the stun here. Going to look for the ultimate onto Adresto. Needs to hit those 4 marks, but that's so much CC and damage that they're not going to be able to get away from that. Victory Slash is up in the top lane here, but it looks like it's a little too late, as now the red team trying to peel backwards here from the blue side. Doesn't look like they're able to follow through on anything just quite yet, so they're going to go over and grab that Rift Herald.
And I personally think that they can definitely grab that Rift Herald, just because the main threat at the moment is Downfall, and Downfall is down their TP, and it's going to take a while for them to get back. Whoa, my god.
Holston flashing forward, might be able to get the kill on the Dynasty King. Dash forward, double auto, picks up the kill onto Caitlyn here. And now that's the go button on the top side here. They're going to go to sleep and then take a dirt nap. They're going down. The Rift Herald gets claimed by the blue team here, and now 60 has to dodge away from Natoa, who has popped the ultimate. Victory Slash is trying to get away from Kroots as best they can, but there's a good snare. There's the follow-up. There's the double kill for Kroots. Picks up Orianna, picks up Nami, picks up a whole lot of buffs for themselves. Natoa picks up the Rift Herald, and that's a pretty big win for the blue side right here.
And I just have to say, oh my god, what a pillar from Natoa. I don't know if you caught that, but I believe that the Lilia 60 actually tried to get a double Q off against Natoa, but because the pillar was there, it actually redirected the Lilia away from the Trundle, and therefore he was able to, you know, clean up the house, take the eye, and win that team fight overall.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but it's a team fight win under their belt, but they're still behind in deaths, or in kills rather, and they're still down in gold a bit. 1.2k. are really going to need some decent chunks of gold out of this Rift Herald in order to catch up here, because right now the only way they're ahead is through these neutral objectives, right? They grabbed the Drake and then immediately went all the way up into the Rift Herald.
Yeah, but also they did grab the Rift Herald, and if I was Natoa, I would probably drop him mid. You want the Ryze to come online as soon as possible. He's the most fit in your team. Sejuani will do good even though she's fed or not. Caitlyn is still gonna do damage, same as Syra. But the Ryze, if he falls behind, you're gonna feel it. So you really want to inject gold into this mid lane, unless...
Oh, you know, they got a double bubble down the bot lane here. Polston is in a whole lot of trouble there, and Natoa's going to be the shutdown. There's now Victory Slash has nowhere to go, nowhere to swim, and the bubble won't save you this time, as Dynast King is going to be the one picking up the kill in the bot lane.
And Natoa didn't even pop ultimate, by the way. Natoa still has his ultimate. So, no ultimate needed. Now you can drop... Yeah, just drop it bot lane. Honestly, if you win a team fight like that, I wouldn't blame you.
Ooh, yeah, but let's see if they're able to get out of this here. Gabe Recall is going to be the first to fall, and that's going to be the double kill going over to the Orianna here. They maintain their gold lead and maintain their kill lead and stop the push onto their bot lane turret. Red team continues to maintain control of this game.
All right, I take it back. I don't know about that. I don't know about that Herald pick there. I mean, you get the Caitlyn some gold, which is nice.
So I actually don't mind the Herald into the bot lane, because Caitlyn does have a bit of a power trough in the mid game, while everyone is kind of caught up to her damage. It's the late game when she has like 3 or 4 items that she really starts to come back online from her early game presence as like a big stat stick, right? So getting her to kind of that state as fast as possible, or at least giving her like the first mythic advantage over her lane opponent, which, you know, doesn't exist anymore because Lucian has it. But still, like, making sure she keeps up to pace with Lucian is going to be your best bet. And Dynast King has been falling behind in CS. If we take a look here, down nearly 40 CS. Now, Krutz is in some trouble. Everfrost coming out, going to snare them up for a little bit here. But...
Oh, but look, that's a nice distraction. Oh, if I was the side of the Gummy Bears, I would have actually just started the dragon right away. Yeah. You probably have the ability not to burst it, but to definitely deal some damage. And now you're forcing this side of DeEvolution to pick whether you want to go for the Ryze or you want to go back to the dragon with a Ryze behind you.
Yeah, this is a very good job. If you're ever in your solo queue games, this is a really good 4-1 split around the mid game here. Is now that's a great shockwave. Tidal wave to follow up as well into 3 members. The Zyra ultimate is coming across as well. Raz going to be able to pick up 2 kills here, but now Polston is still pretty much very alive here. Natoa is in the vicinity, but the jungler for the red side here has gone down. I think they have to let the dragon reset. It's a 1 for 2.
This is very worth for the side of the Gummy Bears. Yes, you lose your Ryze. Your Ryze is a little bit ahead though, and now you're injecting a little bit of gold into the Syra, into the jungler, into the Caitlyn as well.
News bulletin, important news bulletin. Ryze's score is now 420. Just wanted everyone to know. It's way past 420.69, but I just want everyone to know 420. There you go. Haha, lol. That's the big funny in number. That's the big funny number.
Well, Lucia gets another death, then you know we might have a double 420 strat on our hands.
Ooh. Who has to? Okay, you know who has to get the kill? It has to be someone who isn't Ryze has to get the kill. Let's give it to Caitlyn. Caitlyn deserves another kill.
Or the Trundle,
Caitlyn,
honestly. Yeah.
No, Trundle's fine. Trundle's fine. He can farm for an eternity now. He doesn't need it, right? Let Caitlyn have it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, but now while we take a little bit of break, let's just take a look at the gold charts. Let's see how both teams are faring up. So on the top we have Krutz with 6k, tied pretty much with first against the Lucian. And then after that, we have a somewhat even spread between the teams. The Lilia...
CS in the mid lane for the longest time, is tied for the most CS in the game as well. And you know, they've got 4 kills under their belt. Of course, they're gonna have the most deaths. Okay. They're going to be able to secure the dragon here, but this might be the fight. Shockwave and going to put them to sleep. Tidal Wave comes across really well placed. Holy moly. Hoka's going to use that ultimate in order to interrupt Lucian, but they can't stop this. Turn flash forward. That's the multiple to auto attacks. That's a triple kill. I tripped over my words so what's going to happen so quick. Holy moly. Pulston popping off.
My goodness, like you said, Nami with the amazing ultimate gave the not only knocked up the enemy team, but also gave them movement speed to engage to his own team, and just allowed the Orianna to get the perfect ult, and then DeEvolution to, you know, do its work and just blow everybody up with his 2 demon pistols.
For sure is. Now we take a look at the rest of the map here. 100 this Downfall, even though they've had this kind of like lane dominance, they haven't really done a whole lot to the enemy's turret here. And I wonder how much that speaks to Adrasto just playing Sejuani and knowing her wave clear very, very well. Because Adrasto with that fully stacked tier, and now the frozen fist, the Frostfire Gauntlet, right? That's going to turn into a Thimble Winter when it is fully finished there. And I think that's going to make for an incredibly powerful Sejuani that's going to be pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Sejuani works best in team fights. Sejuani hasn't been in any of the team fights. Except the one where they get the kill against Downfall. So the one team fight that she was in, she was successful. She was great in it. But in the other team fights, I mean, she couldn't really go anywhere. She was top. And that's the job of Downfall. He doesn't really want to engage in team fights. He just wants to do his own thing in order to pull away the team or the teammates from the side of the Gummy Bears.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you said it right. That's Downfall's job. Downfall just pulls Sejuani away from the team fights, forcing her to use her teleport if she wants to either answer the Fiora or help out her team. Because we have a Dimensional Rift here trying to cut off Gabe Recall here, but they're fully escaping into the river here. They're going to be A-okay this time.
Yeah, the ball just makes you too fast. Nice escape as well. Nothing really is going on soon. We have Dragon and Baron both spawning at relatively 2 minutes. There's not that many great objectives, so we're just going to go into a lull state right now. Sejuani might be able to take the turret, though.
Yeah, Downfall. Oh, Adrasto. Adrasto might have given up a little too early here. Downfall might be able to get the. Yeah, there it is. I feel like you just died for that, right?
I feel like you should die for that turret if you're gonna go that far.
Yeah, the turret had like no HP, and there was no way the minions were hitting it. So that's just. I don't know if that's unlucky, or whether Adrasto at the last moment was like, oh no, I think I can get away from this, and then finish it off later. But now, how much health does this turret have? How much health?
Let me check.
14 HP it has. Wonderful. You can see it.
14.
It's the good old 1-4.
A minion can probably sneeze on that and it will just fall. You would just crumble into pieces.
I'm surprised at all moments that so many Freljord champions just don't have a cold, right? Like they're just not cold all. Like it's like we live in an Arctic. We live in the Arctic. Okay, where are your clothes?
Ooh.
Yeah. Dynast King might actually die to the
he's gone.
burn here. Yeah, real good. As you know, the playmate was talking about lore things while the fight was happening.
My goodness, yeah. I mean, at that point, you're gonna get full comboed. I think that he also got clipped by the Lily. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just a rough spot to be in. Caitlyn, definitely not the tankiest champion in the ADC role, and if you hit her a couple times, she's just gone. Speaking of that, how do you feel about the Gale Force?
Oh, on Lucian or on Caitlyn?
On Caitlyn. On Lucian is great, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, the Caitlyn Gale Force is perfectly fine.
Really?
Right? Like, yeah, I think so. I mean, if anything, like there might be like for Immortal Shield buff, but for Kraken Slayer, I don't think so.
Yeah, not for Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, it's like maybe Immortal Shield Bow, like if you're getting dove on a million times, but like we haven't really had a full 5-on-5 team fight, so you can't really make that call. Sure, like there's a decent amount of burst damage, but I think like the Immortal Shield Bow with its defenses might be equal to what Gale Force can give them, right? Because if they're able to position themselves or reposition themselves on the fly, then they'll be able to dodge as much damage as Immortal Shield Bow would block them.
You know what? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you have a point.
Tidus King taken incredibly low here. Tidal Wave coming across, but that's going to be finally Victory Slash picking up the kill there. So that's going to be the Glacial Prison coming across. It's now 2-for-1 blue team coming out on top here, and all these HP bars are really, really low. Hilk is going to find another kill now. Victory Slash is the only member left on the red team. Here comes the planar shift. They're coming in. The teleport. They paid the mage in Orgrimmar 5 gold to tip them the portal to Shatrath and picked up the kill to Nami.
Whatever you said, but yeah, that was pretty sick.
It's a World of Warcraft reference.
I was gonna say, I didn't recognize that reference, but man, very beautiful play by the side of the Grumpy Bears. And now it's not even over yet because Darstro just manages to TP back into the top lane and is able to save the tier 2 turret. Now, what I wanted to add as well is that, like I said, Caitlyn, she did die relatively quickly in the fight. I think that if she had the Shieldbow survivability, because I don't think the problem right now is Caitlyn being out of position, because she's in great positions. The problem is that she just gets hit, and she's out for the count. She needs a little bit of sustain in these fights, and as long as she keeps a distance and she has the Shieldbow, she might do a little bit better, in my opinion, again.
Yeah, I mean, this is oh, wait a minute. Glacial Prison on the top lane here. Downfall's in a little bit of trouble. That's a whole lot of CC here. Gonna try to use the parry. Looking for the bit of the shield. Trying to get that heal on the ultimate there to live, but the 3v1's too good. You're not Mordekaiser this time. Can't pull them into the Shadow Realm. They're gonna go down. Red Team's turret is gonna go down as well. And now, 22.5 minutes in, this gold is looking pretty even.
It is looking very even, and now we have a 1-3-1 composition. Sejuani pushing the top lane, Rice shoving the bot lane, and Baron is up. If I was the Grumpy Bears, I would push bot lane and then force a Baron. Honestly, just pull the DeEvolution apart into different sides, and then just take advantage of the double TP.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a good thing to do, but like I feel like Downfall is in a particularly bad spot. Right, like you might be able to 4v4 if this Rise comes, but like keep in mind that like in terms of teleports, if Rise answers the split push from Fiora here, then it's gonna be the side of the Grumpy Bears who have the teleport advantage.
True. I will give you that. But I think that in terms of a team fight, Rice is just has way more utility than a Fiora in a team fight.
Oh, you want to know what else? You want to know what else? I think this is really funny. Do you remember what item we were talking about last week in Gold Seas? Do you remember what we were talking about?
Oh, we were talking. Give me a minute.
Talking about Emerald Circlet. We were talking about Emerald Circlet. Look what Rise has right now.
Yeah,
that's Emerald. A Banshee's Veil, baby. Let's go.
Really great in the laning phase. Oh, Darstro, are you gonna pay for your life? No, you're not. You're just gonna, I mean, able to run away thanks to the dash. And now Natoa, I mean, yeah, at this point, you see that the side of DeEvolution is just hugging the top side of the map because the main objective is there. If I was the Grumpy Bears, I would do the same thing. Just hug the bottom side. They're gonna go for Baron. You'll take the Dragon. You have better wave clear. So even if they get the Baron, you have enough wave clear with the Rise and with the Syra in order to counteract the siege from the side of DeEvolution to an extent.
Oh. Alrighty, here. Victory Slash Impulsion might have caught out Ilk here. forced to go golden. They have vision inside the bush, but goes on top of a trap here. Zyra ultimate comes out. This might be some trouble for Polston here. Q comes out, doesn't have vision. Ace in the hole comes down. Victory slash with the good body block. Gonna keep their AD carry alive for just please don't die to minions.
No.
I saw Polston eat 2 auto attacks from a ranged minion, and I was like, oh no. That's a little too low for me, buddy. But dang. Really good heads up play from Victory Slash there. Really good job.
And Helkte had no idea. Just because the only way that the Nami knew that the Zyra was there was through the red ward, you know?
Yeah, the sweeper.
The sweeper, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, they're now able to get a little bit of a man advantage on the dragon fight. The problem is they need to go now. Right, the fight needs to happen now. Otherwise, that kill on the Zyra and this man advantage that they now have doesn't really mean a whole lot. But there's Zyra, and they're here. And look at that, because Caitlyn was at the neutral objective first. She's now able to set up these traps.
If Trundle start it, Trundle just start it.
Yep, here we go.
There we go.
Start it up. Red team has to pull the trigger or to commit to something else right now, but they are getting a teleport in from the Fiora right now. Dragon at about half HP, throwing out the Drowsy, but Glacial Prison is the answer. 60 flashes over the wall into the team fight here. Try to wave across 2 members, but Lucian is going to be the one securing the turret. But the first kill goes over to Lucian here. Pretty much untouched in this fight, picks up the second here as Adrasto trying to get onto the backside here, but huge Fiora ultimate is going to heal back up Polston here. Following Rise through the Rift Dimension, but not going to be able to get through this time. Yeah, he's long gone. 2 members of the blue team up. They might have lost the Cloud Drake, but they're able to pick up 3 for 1, and they're making their way over to Baron.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing too much to analyze other than great patience from the side of DeEvolution. I like the fact that the Grumpy Bears try to, you know, just push the DeEvolution away. But in doing so, you blew not only the Sejuani ultimate, but also the Zyra ultimate, which are your 2 main CC options. And then afterwards, there's nothing stopping DeEvolution from just going ham on that team fight. There's no real CC stopping them afterwards.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to highlight here is that fight kind of illustrates kind of the big weakness of not having a front line against the Caitlyn. Right? There's no one on that team who can just tank a trap. Right?
Yeah.
There's no one. Like I expected Fiora to be just a little bit more like tanky, but like that's probably going to be a Ravenous Hydra, and that's a Blade of the Rune King to go along. Like the tankiest item she has is a Divine Sunderer, which I don't know if y'all know, doesn't really have a whole lot of HP on it.
True. To be fair.
Sorry, yeah. I had to tell you there's no Santa Claus. But like,
ooh, there's no Santa Claus.
Ooh, yeah, that's a whole lot of good CC here. That's the culling coming out, going to be able to find the shutdown onto Rise.
Sheesh.
A decent chunk of gold for Lucian here, and now this mid wave has to now do a 3v4 here as that turret goes down, and Downfall continues to push on this bot side.
And there is no, I mean, they might not have a front line, but with just the overall utility that they get with everything, I mean, you have the Lily asleep, you have the Orianna, and you have the Nami as well. Those are just tools for Lucian to deal most of the damage. Lucian right now,
yeah,
he's not really carrying the team, but he is like the pivotal piece of the team right now.
Yeah, this whole team is built around this Lucian and to give him the best cullings possible, and they're doing such a good job as that as well, right?
Yes.
Whenever his team is able to set him up, Paulson is able to, on a dime, follow up as well. So, you know, even though I think you're right, I don't think Paulson is like the MVP. Like, it's whoever sets him up.
Yes.
Right? He's still doing very, very well and, like, having some great communication with his team. Like, especially when we saw that Bush play against the Zyra with Victory Slash as well.
Correct. And I mean, just look at, like I've been saying this entire time, Paulson and Victory Slash have been sticking together like they're on a leash, like tied to each other right now. They're like handcuffing each other's hands together. They're not leaving either person's side. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nami for the lulz just goes I forget the support item. It's not the Knight's Vow, it's the other one. But pretty much what the item does is that if you CC someone, the person you tag is just gonna deal extra damage.
Yeah, Zeke's Convergence.
Six Convergence, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think Downfall's gonna need that. Gonna go 1v1 against Drosto here. Gonna throw out the ultimate, trying to get that heal zone for themselves. They're underneath the turret, but Drosto doesn't have a whole lot of HP to work with here. His Cruz is so fast. Thank you, Phase Rush. Very cool. As now they're gonna have to get out of there really, really quick because here comes Paulston. Paulston wants to fight as well, but I don't think he wants to fight underneath the turret. But Gabe, Gabe is looking for it. Gabe is looking for the flank here. That's going to be the Shockwave, maybe? Okay, asleep. Shockwave, kill. Gabe Recall is going to be the one picking up the kill on the Dynast King here. But Cruz is along the side here. Take a look at where Trundle and Zyra here. They're forced the base race. But I don't think you can push faster than 4 members of the red team.
Oh, but anyway, we're putting Gabe Recall on recall duty right now.
Yeah. Gabe's recalling. That's the joke. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Is he going to stop the back? He stopped the backs. Oh no, he only stopped the Trundle back.
Oh yeah, I mean, are you trapped in here with me, or am I trapped in here with you? Is what Trundle is going to say to the Orianna here. That was a real quick turnaround, and now this might be a bit of a fall here. Victory Slash is in now some trouble getting caught out. Has to throw out the tidal wave in order to try to live. But that's a whole lot down. Is now Natoa here.
Oh no.
Might have to fight the Lucian and the Lilia in order to get them off the Drake. They have to do this right now. They have to be able to secure this. Otherwise, they're giving up soul. They are able to pick it up. They might be able to get away here. Downfall is in the middle of the fight, but I don't think they live through this. They're just the sacrificial lamb, and just a bunch of strange, kind of odd picks here are going to give them the opportunity to just kind of reset here and move on. The inhibitor in the bot lane was not taken by the blue team, but the blue team did lose their inhibitor in the top side.
And I personally really like that DeEvolution took the dragon when they had it, because you don't want to Trundle with Cloud Soul, because he's just gonna have an ultimate that's gonna give him a speed buff, and that's just gonna take the stats of the Lucian or whoever he wants. Or Orianna. I mean, all of the ultimates from the side, not the Orianna, I'm looking at the wrong team, but I mean Sejuani with the engage, Ryze with his ultimate, he's just gonna be way more slippery when it comes to trying to skedaddle away, just ult away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a little bit better as Victory Slash. Oh no, in a whole lot of trouble here. Yeah, Pulse is not gonna be able to save you this time, and this is pretty pivotal right here. That's a 40-second death timer here, and 13 seconds on this next Baron. We've already seen the team, and this is another great setup as well. They are going to have to take the route all the way around if no one can come in and just tank these traps, right? Downfall's doing it right now, but they can't just sit there, right? They have really no way into this pit here. The blue team's ready for it.
Okay, Bryce ulting in. Now they have the entire squad in the Baron. If Lilia manages to get a really good... Ooh!
Yeah, that's a good shockwave, already giving them a decent amount of damage here. Gabe Recall here is going to go down, though. Downfall has teleported onto the flank here, looking for the kill. Blue HP bars are pretty low, and 60 flashing forward, going to be able to find one. The slam is not going to land, so they're not going to be able to find two. So now it's a 1 for 2 in this fight so far. They've scared them off of Baron, but now they're all recalling, so this push that they're making onto the mid lane might not be as successful as they'd like.
Who knows? I mean, they're definitely going to be able to take care of one of the turrets, for sure.
Okay, they just have to watch out here. Trundle is coming in on the flank here. Adrasto does not have that ultimate available, so they're just going to scare them away from the inhibitor, and that's that.
Now, how different would the team fight have been if they had Nami on the side? Because I think it would have changed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot different. Because if they're able to, they found that they were able to sneak around the traps at the end there, which was great. They were finally able to enter the river. but they had to initiate the fight with the command Shockwave, and initiating with Nami Tidal Wave is like just a lot easier and allows you to set up for things just as well, and then follow up with the Shockwave as well. There's just a lot of damage missing from their team composition without Nami there.
Yeah, now one thing that, I don't know if you noticed, but Dynasty King actually had to move up to the front line because they were getting melted down by the Baron himself, which just put them in a very, very awkward position, walking right up to the Lilia Q. If there was just a better positioning, I think it would have been a lot better of a team fight for this side of the Grumpy Bears.
Yeah, but take a look at this. DeEvolution here starting up the Baron, and they have a much faster clear time here, and they're going to be able to finish off the Baron before the blue team can even get there. So now they have a big buff advantage. They have supers pushing in the top. They might be able to grab some waves in the bot mid here.
Bot and mid, indeed. Okay. I'm not a top lane main, but
okay,
why did Fiora not build Hullbreaker in this game?
I guess their only thing was they wanted Downfall to be able to team fight, and that's really the only reason why they wouldn't build Hullbreaker. That's really the only reason, because Hullbreaker is insanely gold inefficient if you're constantly team fighting. Like, if you are actually teleporting into the team fights, like then that Hullbreaker is not as good as another item here, but. Groot's here. Oh my god, so much damage from the Fiora. Gonna force that Rise away, but she's still on the hunt here. Gonna get snared up. That's gonna be the Glacial Prison as well, but Adrasto in the past has not been able to fight Downfall, and Downfall just does so much damage. They're gonna have to back away as well, forcing two people back. They might not be dead, but they are really close. It's Downfall now in some trouble here. That's gonna be the ace in the hole coming across, but they're gonna be able to block it up for themselves as now they pick up the inhibitor, and now they are getting away. Bubble comes out. I think they're making their way towards this dragon. This might be able to get them closer to getting Dragon Soul and delay the Dragon Soul from the other side as well.
And now here's the thing. Downfall was like to 1 HP pretty much. He just teleported back. He just backed, you know, healed up, drank a Gatorade, and now he's back in the fight, you know?
Got his G Fuel.
Yeah, he's got his G Fuel back.
No! No!
Okay.
Okay. Adrasto here is in some trouble. They're gonna be able to find the kill. They're gonna have to push and try to end the game, right? Because, like, Cloud Soul is typically not that dangerous, but, like, I feel like on the enemy team, it's actually kind of good.
I can't believe it. That's...
Yeah, it's like the biggest blunder we've seen this team do so far is now Downfall. Might be a little bit too far, but that's going to be the snare onto Gabe. Recall here. That might be the opportunity they're looking for. Oh, at just the wrong point there. So really good well timed by Hilk there, but it's now a 3v4 in favor of the red team here. But good snare onto 60 here. They're going to have to come and support their Lilia here if they don't want her to go down, but there she goes. And that's another member of the red team down. Another Baron buff not pushing into the enemy team's base. And now they're out of there.
This is a scary situation to be in now. Caitlyn has Rapid Fire Cannon. Ryze has Rabadons. And Morelos. Syra is doing damage now. She's not a support anymore. She graduated to DPS now. And... yeah. I mean, I don't know why Sejuani built Force of Nature, but she has Fimbulwinter, and she's definitely building a lot more items.
There's enough AP damage. There's enough AP damage on the enemy team.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Lilia and Orianna. Yeah. You're right.
Lilia, Orianna, like Nami, like a little bit. Well, yeah, it's fine. I probably would have built an armor item first, but like
I would have gone Gargoyles.
Randuin's mail, and like that's already so much armor right there that like it's not the worst thing in the world. Let me see. 267 armor. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would have gone Gargoyles just because it's good against both AP and AD. And it gives you like pretty much your entire health bar in a shield, which is
well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, these supports cannot catch a break from both sides. Like, I've seen Syra and Nami get caught out in a death bush more times than I can count, and I don't blame them. Don't get me wrong, their job is to ward the jungle. But also, they shouldn't die while warding the jungle.
Yeah. So now this is an interesting opportunity here for the red team here. They might be able to win the game off of that. You know, Zyra's dead for another 20 seconds here. They might be able to find a team fight in their favor because Downfall is 1v2ing up in the top lane. Look at this right now. Adrasto forces the ultimate and forced to flash away as well. This is the go button that they need. They're going to be able to take this bottom turret, inhibitor turret here, and the inhibitor as well. So they should be able to get at least one wave of double supers before the top inhibitor spawns. And now they're as 5, and they are sufficiently powerful here, so they have to be very careful. Yep, here come the double supers.
I mean, double supers are online. We have Downfall split pushing, just pulling the forces away, like we've both been saying before. And now that the team is apart, I mean, the team fighting just falls down exponentially. Now, DeEvolution is just preparing for a Baron fight.
I don't even know if you need to prepare for a Baron fight. You just need to prepare for a Death Brush here as Adrasto walks in and checks it. But they're going to be, since they're so tanky, they're able to get away. But that is already one ultimate spent by the enemy team and none by the blue squad right here. So, you know, if they fight around this Baron pit, that is a resource that they're going to be up on here. So
I'm just a bit afraid.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a bit afraid because the red team can just melt the Baron. They are melting the Baron right now. Rice needs to ult into the Baron if he feels that they're there, but now it's too late.
Oh yeah, no, here we go. He's going for it. He's bringing the... Oh, no, he's baiting it out here. They thought they'd scare them off, but red team has secured the Baron. And this is a 42-minute Baron here, so this is a really powerful buff here. The later the game goes, the more powerful the Baron buff. They have double supers in the waves as well. They're looking for Hilk right now. They can't quite find the plant lady just yet. Poison Ivy is escaping from Batman this time, and they're going to be able to get away as now, yeah, they're marching their way down the mid lane.
And there's nothing really that you can do to stop them unless you have all 5 people together. And I don't think Downfall is down for that idea. Downfall wants to split push. Downfall, never mind, they're joining the team.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of places left to split.
Yeah, you can't really split inside of the enemy base.
Yeah, you can. If at this point, split pushing is just like you standing on the other end of the block. Like, it's just like you're on the other side of the road. All you need to do is just walk across the street, and then suddenly you're with your friends again. But yeah, just clearing through the inhibitors right here, trying to make sure that they keep these double super waves spawning over and over again so they can maintain the pressure. But they're not playing like a team who's far ahead and has Baron buff. It seems like they're playing scared, or they're not trying to coin flip it. They're trying so hard not to coin flip, and they're making sure that they're not like gambling. But in this case, it feels like they have like a 60-40 at worst, and like they're just like, no, that's not enough. We can't go in on a 60-40.
I was gonna say, you know what I mean? I'd rather take an 80-20 with Elder Drake too, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, I guess, but still, like, they're wasting their Baron buff by going, like, it's extraneous, is what I'm saying. Sure, they'll win the game with it. It's not like it's bad, but it feels like it's just, like, not 100% necessary.
Nah, I condone this behavior. If you're gonna win and you get the ability to crush the opponent, then do it.
Okay, sure. But now let's see if they pull the trigger, because the Baron buff, the Elder Drake does not really help it unless they pull the trigger here. And here they go. Natoa is going to be the first to fall to that DOT plus the execute here. That's going to be the first to fall here. That's going to be another Nexus turret going down. There's a good bubble. Paulston moving in right here. That's going to be the second big zap coming in from the Dragon Breath. Coming in, then they're not going to be able to stop them destroying the Nexus. As now the red team picks up their W, picks up their 2-0 win, and secures themselves in I believe 7th place and not 8th.
That's right. And not only they won this set, but now they have side selection, for the Gauntlet, I believe that's what the next event is called. But yeah.
Yeah, the Gauntlet is happening soon. They still have 2 more weeks of play. There's still 2 more weeks of play after this, right? The Gauntlet doesn't start until about the 22nd. So they still have some time here, right? They could still move up in position, but they won't have so much fluidity. The first 3 spots are pretty much locked in at this point.
Yeah, and I guess just to top it off, my final thoughts on the whole sets are just, you know, Gabe Rico, I like the variety. His Yone is definitely better than the Orianna, but at the end of the day, if you know how to press R as Orianna, you're doing a fantastic job for your team. I like that Downfall is just very dominant in the top lane. I think that their team should play around more about the split pushing side of things, because I think that Downfall was getting pulled into the team fights a little bit more. And I mean, Nami Lucian, it's just good. It slaps.
It's that's like a tagline.
Yeah, Nami Lucian, it slaps.
For like a Nami Lucian, it's just good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if anything, I think that maybe this game might have these past. If I have any notes about this series, is that these series took way too long. These games ended up going about 40 minutes. That's not like I can't believe I have to cast a 40-minute game. It's just that usually when these games go this long, and even when you have like a lead like this, like they ended the game with an 8,000 gold lead, and so I'm not going to really count that up, but like towards the end they had like a 6,000 gold lead, but they weren't really playing like it, right? They weren't really playing like a team that was ahead. And you know, when you are in situations like that where you're not willing to take like risks, right? If you're not willing to take like, hey, we're ahead, let's do this thing and like push our advantage, right? Then these games go longer, and in certain cases, especially against like some of our top tier teams that they'll probably going up against them if they make it through the Gauntlet, you know, won't give them that opportunity, or will seize that opportunity of like, hey, they're not ending the game, they're taking a long time, they don't know how to end. Let's like farm up and, you know, catch up and be able to get back into this game. That's really my only note here.
Yeah, and I think it's just a great lesson that that you can teach to a lot of people, is that sometimes it's easier to come back than to pretty much win with a lead, just because of the fear of dropping the ball is always on the back of your head. So just be confident in yourself, you know? If you have a lead, be confident, and you'll most likely take the game. But I think that's gonna be it for this set. Shinkari, thank you very much for being the play-by-play for tonight. And, you know, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We didn't have a pre-show, or we didn't have that many casters today, but we are glad to give you some quality amateur League of Legends experience.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to do it from us here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. From myself, the entire live broadcast crew here at Zero Gravity Gaming, Combalster, our producer, and also my co-host, my co-caster for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already noticed, or if you're living under a rock, or if you're you know, doing something cool for Brennan and listening to the audio cast of this particular event, then you might not know that we have a sponsor for this season. ProComps is our sponsor for this season of Zero Gravity Gaming, and ProComps is a first of its kind drafting tool aimed for competitive and solo queue play. ProComps allows the user live feedback and analysis on drafting, giving them recommendations on picks, notes on matchups, and analysis on the enemy team's win conditions. These features allow the user to gain an edge on their opponent and improve their drafting skills. Use code ZGG for 50% off the first 3 months of ProComps. And you already saw like the cool information that ProComps does give us as casters. It should give you some awesome information in your solo queue games as well. So go ahead, check them out, ZGG, for 50% off your first 3 months of that. But from everyone here, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We have League of Legends action for you to watch nearly every single day. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It's September, which means all those subscriptions are 20% off. So if you feel like helping us keep the lights on here at Zero Gravity Gaming, go ahead and give us that subscription. But until next time, we will see you later. Bye-bye.